challenges presented to me did manifest in tough trials in our real life on Earth, including a hurricane, the aftermath of which left us technically homeless for nearly 2 years. The honest truth is, anyone living paycheck to paycheck is potentially one very bad and unexpected health issue and/or one act of God level weather event away from losing any bit of stability they possess. The journey to creating content has been a very long one for me, no matter how you slice it, and technically we could in 3 distinct timelines. While I go over them, enjoy the footage for the official Cookie Island tour in the background. This island, and starting to play this beautiful game at all, is part of the 3rd timeline after all, so it'll all come together in the end. First, let's start with the longest plausible timeline for how I came to the view. Timeline number 1, development of character. My first version of this character was back in 1998 when I started playing Diablo 1. Her name was Catclaw, and this is the very first online handle. Few and far between would remember the late 90s Battle.net chat days, but this was indeed the first root of the base character online. Diablo 1 and other fandoms at the time inspired me to start dabbling with making websites on platforms like GeoCities and Angelfire, and venturing further online than just logging into the game. Eventually, I found my way to a little site called Gaia Online in late 2003, at the time called Go Gaia. This is where I got into the art scene, both there and on DeviantArt. This is around the time I started at university and got my first digital drawing tablet. It was a quick slip into roleplay and collecting art of my original characters. Primary among them was Cat, that would become the recognizable base for Cat Doodles later. I'm still very good friends with another art commissioner I met when I commissioned one of my first drawings of Cat on Gaia Online. In fact, the commissioner ended up many years later not only good friends but romantic partners with the artist we both commissioned all the way back in 2004. It is in fact the updated design of the Cat version of this character from 2008 that became the basis of Cat Doodles. Thankfully, the lovely Fern, creator of Kingdom of Knuffle, gave me permission to keep Cat Doodles close to her style for optimal cuteness. But some tweaks were made so she'd read separate from the delightful IP Fern has built up tirelessly for decades at this point. There were still some other items of note along this path, but those details will be shared another day. If you want to check out some highlights of commissions from Cat Doodles and her base character Cat over the years, there's a dedicated fan art thread and Discord server you can check out anytime. The beginning posts are a walk down memory lane of the iterations and art of the character. If you would like to submit fan art of Cat Doodles, you may do so through Discord or Dollhouse. Link in the description. Timeline number 2. Deciding to be a content creator. In the heyday of what MatPat has coined as the era of the original YouTuber, the only YouTube era before it was the viral video era. That was pre-2010. So yeah, I thought about doing this for a very long time, studying the trends, the ins and outs, so long they were changing me regularly as time passed. While part of me knew it was valuable to just jump in and do it, something gave me pause. Not only was there upheaval in my personal life at the time, but also the fact I was seeing the challenges, the downsides, and the downright scary aspects of fame via content creation. The toll it could take, the cancellations, the fast pace, and how the rules changed nearly daily made it feel like I needed to hold off. That I needed clarity on what I wanted to create, what I wanted to say, and to do that I needed to be fully baked myself, not in a weird point of flux and lost myself. Because at that point, the mean comments that even the most unproblematic content creators at the time got would have been something I couldn't handle. I needed to grow up without the pressure of the eyes on me. I needed autonomy and safety online while navigating living in a toxic household in real life. If I also had a toxic online experience at that point, I might not have made it through. I don't regret waiting. I was not ready, and I am so glad I barely posted anything online and sought out friendships, like minds, and creative outlets to help navigate the hard times I was having in my day-to-day life while going through my earthly trials. That brings us to timeline number 3. Timeline number 3, taking action. I hit rock bottom around 2018, probably about 2 years earlier than you would have been expecting. My rock bottom was that I was walking a dagger's edge, one blow the wrong way, and things would have gone differently. I don't think I would have made it to this point. However, I was lucky and managed to navigate, to get back to the love of my life and started a healing journey. And going on that journey, I was able to love myself and finally got clarity on what was important to me and what I wanted to do with my life. Trying to do anything substantial before having these basic ingredients, for me at least, would have been like trying to make a wedding cake with a packet of powdered ramen noodle sauce. I was trying to make a lot with no inner resources to work with at the time. The challenges presented to me did manifest in tough trials in our real life on Earth, including a hurricane, the aftermath of which left us technically homeless for nearly 2 years. The honest truth is, anyone living paycheck to paycheck is potentially one very bad and unexpected health issue and/or one act of God level weather event away from losing any bit of stability they possess. My family seemed willing to help, but delayed our recovery by spinning our wheels for the better part of a year. It was an important time because I finally realized how manipulative some of my family is, and the toll it has had on my life and other relationships. In fact, they were trying to use our current temporary situation to manipulate me into believing my husband had already put in all the work to help fix me and make me happy and love myself, which is crazy. They said, "You haven't gotten better." And I'm like, huh? We ended up going back to my hometown and quickly found our friends treated us better than family. It was a scary situation to be in, but we didn't go hungry. We were warm, we were safe, and we did recover. My first serious intended debut was originally set the week Hurricane Ida hit. I was going the faceless route via pre-Avatou debut to start getting used to creating on a schedule and delve into Animal Crossing New Horizons for the very first time. To say the attempt was scuffed is an understatement, and to cap it off, my week-long streaming event on Twitch was in fact interrupted because we had to evacuate. Needless to say, ensuring I brought my content creation setup was not the top priorities when we fled to safety. The rest of 2021 was hard, all of 2022 was rough, and by 2023 things were starting to improve. I kept slowly picking away at getting my assets together throughout and thinking through what I would do once I was on the other side of the situation, because a few dedicated friends and concerned fans I had managed to pick up during my short-lived attempt took on me, cared, and encouraged me. It let me get to the point of clarity that I was able to prepare several months ahead of time with content to ensure consistency was a must before starting to release content. My health has always been tricky, and that was why I ended up doing a main podcast episode on a maintainable schedule with segments and shorts uploaded separately on YouTube and other platforms as appropriate to keep the algorithm happy with me. So it's not an understatement to say I have crossed oceans of adversity to be with you. And I am so glad to have arrived now so that I can share some advice and light the path ahead. Because I know it's hard all around. We've never been simultaneously so connected and yet felt so very alone. I'm equally a human in this time and place, having a human experience like the rest of you. At earthly trial, as it were, and also the Queen of La La Land, that is always up to silly shenanigans. I live in both places equally. Getting through the tough stuff as an adult and still being able to love yourself and others, be willing to trust and be able to be authentic, even to the point of playfulness and silliness, is hard won. I'm lucky my husband helped me navigate everything so I could end up becoming my truest self while living in a tough-as-nails world. The saying, "the world isn't fair," is actually an oversimplification in my mind. At this point, it feels like so many major aspects have become predatory by intentional design, so it is important to have your eyes open, protect yourself, but also not lose hope or sight of who you want to be or how you want to live a fulfilling life on your terms. It can be harder to get there, but the best way is with a rising tide that raises all ships, and all of us being the change we want to see. There is a point when facing difficulties that you have to get stronger to get through it. I finally got to that point, and now I not only have clarity on what I want to do, but what I want to say and how I can help. And that is absolutely invaluable and worth all the pain it took to get. Because if I can help even one person avoid some of the pitfalls I have smacked into face first, it would have been worth it 10 times over. Impact is the only metric that really matters to me. I want to enjoy every stage of growth because I know Markiplier crying meme came from the sinking realization he could never possibly meet all his fans, and it was crushing. There are pros and cons to all stages of growth, and after studying content creation for over a decade, I have clarity on those ins and outs, and what I value most in life is relationships. Speaking of which, if you want to learn some of my silly quirks, please check out the 3-part PSA series as part of episode 1 of the podcast. Link in the description. Thank you for watching and see you next time.